Check, check, check. Good morning. Good morning. Still getting the stream set up here. And that's set up. Got my coffee ready. And instead of waiting like last time, okay, seem to have some technical difficulties. There we go. I can see that the stream is back on here. So let's just go ahead and kick things on, kick things into gear. If anyone could pick a random day, random trading day, more than a month ago, but not more than 4 months ago, because I don't keep that much data loaded up on the charts when I begin. Otherwise, I'll just go to random.org, and that will allow me to select a random date. Let's see, random date generator. And I guess I just have to make sure that, there we go, between June and September 14th. 5 random days. Mondays, yeah, okay, I guess all the days. Day format doesn't matter. So I'll get dates here. 7/10, 6/20. 6/20 seems interesting. That was a long time ago. Let's see what 6/20 is like here. So let's get this going. Take this off of 30 times speed. Okay. Okay, so we're up and running now. This is going to be a practice session for ES, which is good because I have less experience with ES than I do with NQ. ES is a totally different beast in terms of trading. Let me see if we have the overnight loaded here. And I don't want to use the evening session on my daily. For my daily analysis, so here we go. Looks like it didn't correctly display here. Yeah, something weird going on. I think both of these are wrong for some reason. I don't understand what's going on with these averages here. Okay. Yeah, just way off for some reason. I don't understand. But we'll just run with it. Had some down days here apparently. Huh. This is just way off on my daily. But yeah, it's rolling over for some reason here. It looks like there's just extra data in this. So oh, I know what it is. It's because of this. It's because of this. This chart did not update. So here we go. 14.59. 59. So a lot of futures traders prefer to end the market day when the futures market closes at 3:15. I agree with that for everything except for the indices. So this is starting to look better. Okay. What's still wrong here? It's still too much data. Don't use the evening session. I don't load up the last 15 minutes of the RTH on my daily chart anyway. Here we go. That looks better. On my daily chart, just because when I look at a daily chart for futures, I find that it's more accurate a predictor to just stick with the RTH. So until the S&P and the Dow and the NASDAQ trade 24 hours, I think the correlation is not going to be the same. I'm sure there are a lot of chartists out there as well who would be equally, or that would be frustrated if markets did switch to a 24-hour format, simply because their charts would suddenly maybe change. I don't know. Well, maybe it wouldn't actually. I guess 24 hours would be the same. But as we can see, we're heading down. We're in a really weird scenario here where ES is opening lower each day but recovering every single day. So that's really strange to me. But we keep on making lower lows, lower highs, and only in the biggest sense, going back over weeks, is there a bullish trend happening here. But in the daily, we are on day 4 after a 3-day downturn here. So Mixed signals. This is going to be an interesting day to trade. Overnight, you can see came down into that VWAP area. I actually like during slow times reversal plays off of the RTH VWAP for ES. Tends to be a good bounce area here. Even better than this point of control, at least for the overnight, right? And then of course we come back up. So, you know, bulls apparently have it going, are asserting themselves, or in control here. On the hourly, similar to NQ, I'll say, hourly, you do find support typically around the around this 21 EMA and 50 EMA. Of course, we have the 8 EMA is the aggressive. You can see the aggressive trend happening here, and very interesting overnight sessions. Very, very bearish in the overnight, and then we recover. Very, very bearish in the overnight, and then we completely recover. So overnight seems to be the time to actually trade ES at this back in June here. I'm not going to get a lot of stuff off the 5-minute, except to say that the 5-minute is bearish. The hourly is bullish. Mixed signals all around here. Yeah, mixed signals. This is going to be a really interesting session. Very interesting day. You know, so we'll go ahead and speed this up. Since this is 7 a.m., this is about an hour and a half before market opens, because I'm Central Time out here. So we're speeding this up. There we go. I was wondering if this is even active here. It's strange to watch. Strange to watch ES. You know, strange to watch ES. I'll go ahead and I'll start recording here. Okay. So again, we are at 10 times speed on June 20th, 7 a.m. Picked up this date off of random.org that generated a random trading day for me. Let me make sure that we're not on a Friday here. No, we're on a Wednesday. Okay. And I'll also check to see, let's see, if there were any Fed events back then. FOMC Wednesday, or wait, June 2018. There was a closed board meeting back then, so no, there was not any kind of FOMC Wednesday effect happening. If there were, generally you get a rise into FOMC. Generally you get a rise. Okay, so now we are back to bullish on our 5-minute. We'll see if this plays out in time enough for these intraday averages to go bullish here. Looks like the VWAP is asserting itself, or at least that the market is recognizing that as an edge of value. This will be an interesting session also because I've never tried the range bars with ES. I think you have to change it to 2R range, however, in order to make this actually useful, because ES trades in such a tight range. But I have zero experience trading ES with this chart below here. So there you go. I'm kind of hedging what I expect out of this practice session because of because one, ES is not my main thing, NQ is, and two, there's a completely different style to how you trade ES versus other markets. You know, one thing to keep in mind is that ES actually does respect the volume profile. So let me make a little extending rectangle here. Possible buy area. Let's also find maybe some resistance. Find some tails. 60-minute tails resistance here. Wonder why this chart is not going back. It's supposed to go back further. Okay. All right. Whatever then. This is kind of a minor thing here, but we'll throw it up there. It's kind of a minor area to watch out for. This is actually a much better area as far as possible target goes. So you have these tails. I like that. I like to focus on the 60-minute tails that happen in the RTH session. So the day session for the ES are these lighter areas here, and this of course is a 60-minute chart. So a very short daytime, and then you have a long overnight session. You see instant. We have resistance up here, 70 to 80. So if this kept on moving up, then that would be a nice 10-point cadence back up into 80 here. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't like to trade the first 5 minutes normally, and I don't like to trade. I don't like to trade open and run moves. So if this opens and just goes straight up, then I'm going to be left behind. I don't like to take those trades. That could be a misconception on my part. Yeah, because I don't actually have data going back showing whether or not these trades are reliable. You know, these first minute breakout trades, how reliable they are. I just have that gut feeling of, oh, I've been trapped in this type of trade before, right? So it's not very scientific. Let's get this thing going. Maybe let's see if this skip feature works decently. Yeah. There we go. Getting closer, and I will switch here to real time. Excuse me, real time, because as markets open, they're very volatile, and so there's no real reason to have them running at 10 times speed. Another thing to watch though is that there's also a 10-point cadence from here. So let's say that there's an early pullback from this 26 area, then 10-point cadence, I actually round up just a little bit to like 9 points. So that would be 67.25. That'd be right there. So it'd be interesting to see if we got a reaction off of that. We have positive delta on the tick chart. Draw another high at this resistance area. I'll let this first 5 minutes play out. Anyone who's in the YouTube chat room, feel free to chime in here. And, you know, it doesn't just have to be me trading here. You can, you can definitely put in ideas, what you might do. So far, very, very tight. Very steady buying here. You know, it's interesting is that, you know, in recent days, of course, this would be very suspect. You'd be like, what's going on here, right? Because the markets have been so volatile lately. You know, here we are, October, the weekend of October 14th, and the market has finally come down to a 200-day simple moving average, and I have when it's down here, I've started building options long positions 3 months out, some moonshot plays there, right? Because those are usually a good deal, you know. Chris in the chat room. Morning, Chris. I have a brother named Chris. Actually, it's easy to remember that. So all my ES trading, if you ever get a chance, I learned in Don Miller's room ES. I still make better returns off of NQ, but I will admit that ES is easier to learn, and it's therefore probably easier to teach as ES. And coming from NQ, where your trades, I mean, you can on NQ you can get a nice 10-point swing in NQ very, very quickly, and you can build into a position. ES will oscillate in 2-point movements for an hour, and then maybe come back for another hour, and you finally get like 8 points in another direction. You know? So it's a very, very, very slow process for ES, to trade ES. So what's interesting is that most of the days prior, you opened at the lows or lower than the prior day, and this time we're opening at the highs of the prior day. So it'll be interesting to see if we backfill or if we just, you know, shoot higher off of this. Yeah, I wish I had some sort of better idea off of this, but I'm just gonna have to follow the follow this going on here. I typically also am very reluctant in my shorting of ES. Lately, in retrospect, off of this like massive market move down, I found that ES would have been the easier to short between ES and NQ. NQ early on would have these deeper retracements, whereas ES would just take a breakout early in the morning and it would never come back. You know, so breakout trades, again, not my favorite type of trade, but I think that's from trading NQ mostly, where if you are a breakout trader in NQ, you're punished. You know, side note, if you're a Wyckoffean trader, you're also punished in NQ, because you might be looking at 5-minute bars or something like that, or even 15-minute bars, and NQ will not hesitate to completely undo a drastic selling tail on as it's moving up. It'll put in a drastic selling tail, and then everybody will load in short, and it'll come right back up. Look at this really tight range though we have going on here. 72. So we have a 3-point range in the first 5 minutes. This is going to be a pretty sleepy day. You know, trading ES. We have no strong bias one way or the other happening here on the you know, down below. You know, I don't know how reliable this cumulative delta setup I have, which this is still set to NQ. I changed this to 2R versus 4R in order to maybe put in a little bit more volume, since ES typically is doesn't trade as much. You know, even if I were to take this overnight point of control trade, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 5 ticks. That's nothing. It's like $60. So we're getting lower lows, lower highs. We are coming up on this overnight. This VWAP here. Bad looking structure on the 5. I would expect it to come down more here, but we're also in that first 5 minutes, so no surprise. I'm gonna wait. Just gonna wait. ORB, Tony Krabel made these so popular that everyone started fading them. What is ORB anyway? And for anyone wondering, that's I'm chatting with Chris in the YouTube chat room. I'm a little split. You know, I'm a little split on whether I should keep using YouTube. I like, this is what I like about YouTube. I like 60 frames per second. I like 1080p because, you know, that's just that's the resolution I use. You know, I actually use a 4K resolution, but the internet isn't at the point, the American internet, I should say, isn't really at the point where it can reliably stream 4K, you know? Yes, Netflix does it, all that other stuff, right? But what I'm saying is that while if you're in a big city, you know, 100 megabytes a second, 200 megabytes a second, you know, connections are fine. But then even if you go out into the suburbs, you know, you're still confronted with the average of like 50 megabytes per second, you know, and most of the time it's kind of iffy on whether or not you get that 50 megabytes a second, you know. Wow, tricky day here. I would have to go bearish, right? So this only spent a couple ticks up here, and then it went down. So you already missed your entry. Already missed your entry if you're ES, right? But hey, I'll put another order up there, and you know, as long as we're staying short here, then we'll give it a try. We'll give it a try. Oh, opening range breakout. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know with ES. I really don't. Okay, so we got a trade here. No strong direction, one way or the other. Making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. If this breaks over this, then I guess I'm wrong. But another thing with ES is that it tends to telegraph what it's about to do. So if we actually broke over this, then it wouldn't be a surprise to me if it came all the way back down to like here. So it allows for graceful exits is the general idea there, you know. So if I'm wrong on this, then I'll take that loss. I'm not, yesterday with NQ, I'm confident enough with NQ to to basically say like, okay, I'm going to do a practice session, and the goal of this practice session is to have 0 losing trades. Like I'm familiar enough with NQ and how it behaves to do that. Totally different strategy when trading ES for me anyway. Totally different strategies. Yeah, let me take a little profit here. Let me get into a free position if I can. Looks like we're getting a little buying here. Wow. Just wow because of how slow this is. It's like watching paint dry, right? Oh, okay. I can I can just look it up. No fill here. And now it's coming back up. So we still have to get up and over this though. So as soon as it cracks that, then I'll put a little order down in there. There we go. So I'll take my loss on this. It's fine.
You win. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I win, air quotes there. So I'm down 33 whole dollars on the day for ES here. Middle out trade. I don't have structure on my side. So if back here my reasoning was that at least we were making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? And so I was thinking to myself, well, even though middle out trades are not the best trades, and they really aren't, middle out from VWAP, we've been rejecting off the opening price, which is this blue horizontal line here. Been rejecting off of that. Yes, this has been support, but I would scalp and possibly take some profit close to this bottom again, and just kind of build into a short position. This now exists that so we undid a little bit of structure here on the 5 minute too, right? We're not making lower lows anymore. We undid one of them. Still leaning slightly to the bears on the short term here, and mixed signals as we are leaning to the bulls overall from the hourly, all the way from the prior day nighttime around 8 p.m. my time. That's Shanghai Open actually. So this is around Shanghai Open. We start moving up in the hourly, and of course closer to the open, things start to fizzle out as in terms of momentum here, right? But for now on ES, not a lot to do. Getting some support here. We have no strong bias happening in the over here, just slightly bearish over here on the cumulative delta, and we haven't achieved any significant price objective. You could say that maybe the overnight VWAP was a significant price objective. That's about it. So based off of that, I'd have to assume that we could be moving bullish, but at the same time, we don't have anything to show for it yet, right? So I'm just gonna hang out and let this play out a little bit longer. See if we get something that appears over here to hint one way or another. You see the 5-minute closed above the cloud, and also has yet to close above any of the averages, really, right? We haven't closed above the 50, we haven't closed above the 21 or the 8. Those are all bow tied here, so not surprising. Very, what's the word? Boring. 72. So off a 10-point cadence, though, 72 upside target would be 81, 82. There's this minor kind of tails thing that I pointed out earlier. I don't really like that, but it is at least a higher target, so that if you were long, that offers a nice area to start distributing. Most days with ES in a bullish market, you're just trying to load in to long positions below VWAP. You know, say in the neighborhood of like 5 to 10 points lower, below the opening VWAP, and then you're just trying to distribute on the other side. That's it. That's something that a trader in the Don Miller room pointed out once. He's a guy I really liked in that room, actually. I think he works for some capital firm. We were just saying, you know, given this general idea, like this general money maker, market maker, institutional idea, where statistically, even in bearish markets, so in bearish markets, it's like, you know, you still have a slight bias to this working out. You just go long, go long under VWAP, and then you wait, because at some point it's going to get back to VWAP, and so you can either take some profit there, or you can take some profit and hold and wait to distribute. Once it's on the other side of VWAP, then you start using good size, according to him anyway, if everything lines up, and you just keep going from there. So it's very much a one or two good trades scenario going on when you trade ES. I find it difficult to scalp ES, I should say. Yeah. You know, ES bonds, especially bonds, are like the favorite trading instrument, in my opinion, and probably the best trading instrument for order flow techniques. Bonds. So here we are again. We're about to close out this 5-minute candle. Interesting again that we're not closing up and over any of these averages, right? Let's see, RTH 10-point cadence would be very close. You have very close, right? You're 2 ticks away because of all this tight range. Lot of bearish order flow coming in there on the CD. So, still got to lean bearish, but like I said, I have a really hard time trading bearish ES. We'll give it a try here. We'll give it a try. It's just my experience. I haven't found any solid ES shorting method, you know. So we'll just go with the that very generic idea of scalping into a free position and seeing if you can get something out of it. You know, problem with this is, you know, like earlier, shorted here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And ideally, I'd like to get, I don't know, 6 ticks out of a short on ES, right? Before I before I cover part and roll stop on the other part just to scalp into place, right? But things are just so tight, especially on this day. Look, we're 75 to 72, so we're literally looking at a 3-point range here. It's just not giving you much to work with. Really, really bearish on CD, but apparently getting absorbed right here on the RTH VWAP, right? It's like watching paint dry. Interesting video yesterday. So in the Discord chat, there's some people that know about a day trader. His name is Harold. He has a YouTube channel called Live Day Trading. It's really difficult to actually find. And he also has another channel which shows him trading on a different platform, Tradeovate platform, called Hilmy83. I think that's the name of it. Anyway, I found it connected, and it's the same guy, right? I like him. Apparently, some of the traders in the room say that he's on forexfactory.com. He has a thing going there, and in that he was more active in a room, and then just kind of got frustrated with it all. Had all right, let's give this another try. Middle out, but going along with the order flow, right? See if we can get anything. Punch right through. That's not good. Anyway, yeah, he was he's on there. He's just a pure scalper, and that's what I really appreciate about this guy. Right? He's just a pure scalper. He goes in, gets his 2 points, maybe 3 points. He uses when I first saw him, he used 3 contracts. Now he uses 4, and yeah, and that's it. He'll do like 5 trades for trying to get 5 trades, 4 contracts, trying to get 2 points each time, maybe 3 points, something like that. And that's it. You can make a good living off of something like that, So this is just pushing through now, off of that VWAP. And it looks like I'm about to take a loss on this, right? No? Okay, all right. Rejection. Let's let this candle be our guide, right? 30 seconds. If this candle closes over these averages, then I'll go ahead and get out of this position. Since it's just been oscillating all day long. For, let's say, all day long. It's only been 25 minutes. It's just painfully slow to watch. So we closed over. I'm going to go ahead and take my loss, take my hit on this. If it lets me. I should have had it.
You win. Perfect.
Yeah, I win, right, quote unquote, but I am down on this. Very, very tight range day. No good opportunities yet either. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up because this is actually painful. It's actually painful. Let's go to 5 times speed. I'm gonna have to be quick on the button. Let me read this real quick. For scalpers, have you checked out Michael Lee Moore's thread, The Scalper's Journey, Big Mike's? He's the Scalp CL. Recently, NQ. I don't know what TM is. He's scalping ES though. Interesting. Big Mike. I've seen Big Mike's stuff. I've never heard of Michael Lee Moore before. But I'm open to ideas for how you scalp other markets. Sure. Why not? You know? Why not? Just out of curiosity, what does this look like on the tick chart here? Because again, I don't, this Sunday session, I have two variables in play. One, it's an ES trading session. It's going to be a little bit boring. Two, I haven't used this thing with ES. Granted, even without this, it would be difficult for me to trade ES today, in that we have logged a 3-point range all day long. So that's that's definitely something. Let me pause. So I'm going to do something here. I just out of curiosity, I want to see if since we're trying to figure stuff out, or at least I'm trying to figure stuff out, right? So that's where we're going to use this this session to figure out some stuff. Let's see what happens if we do this. Nope, still bearish. I just want to see if this catches any moves, and this is probably going to be ill-fated experiment anyway. Yeah, no, still all just pretty much bearish. Right, we get a little bit of something here. If we go on the 50 as an alternative, if we go on the 50, then it does show that whenever you cross through that gives you worse, that you actually correlates a little bit here. But this is just tight range, so I'm gonna need something better than a day where we trade 3 points, 3 points of range on ES. On the bright side, random.org did truly pick a random day here, right? I mean, I'm definitely not getting any favorable treatment off of picking my own day. This is this is really annoying. So we're starting to at least get some closes on the 5 over. So I mean, that's at least a glimmer of bullishness, maybe. I mean, watch this come down and break this last 5-minute candle. Yep, there we go. And now, nada. Yeah, nada. So I'm gonna need some sort of imbalance before I can take any sort of good probability trade. All right, so I'll just leave it on this 5. TM should have been YM. Oh, okay. I do all right with YM. The only thing I don't like about YM is that I find that you need more size to make it worth your while. That's what I find. So even though, tick for tick, it's the same as NQ as far as, $5 a tick. Right? Here we go. We're starting to get a little bit of bullishness, but we're still bearish overall. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We have a triple bottom going, so that's kind of in the favor of bulls, but we also have this little triple top going on too. Yeah. I'll tell you this. This is one thing I know absolutely for sure, and that's that in a day where you're orbiting VWAP, especially when you're orbiting VWAP by less than 2 points, that you're just not going to get high probability trades here. So let's try for a breakout. Let's try for a breakout here. If we nope. Wait, why is it on 4? I don't want it on 4. 3-leg scaling, 2-leg scalp. We'll just do 2-leg scalp, and if we get something, we get something. All right, so it seems to be heading down. Okay, 75, 66 here. I'm gonna hit the hourly at 21 EMA. That here, so 67's probably pretty strong entry point if we can get down there. Looks like it. Looks like we are definitely short down there. And come back up over this, then that will be very annoying. Getting a little bit of trend, hit that 200 on the 5 minute. I don't know if that's going to be respected though. Let's see, we're starting to melt through again on this, you know, but usually that offers a pretty good rejection point. So yeah, let's give this a try. Let's try this out short, shall we? Ah, darn it, and it's on this 4 contracts too. There we go. I think that had to do with my default settings, and now we're back up through this. So not looking good for shorts for me. 75 to 69, and that's 6 points of range for the day. Rolling CD here, so that's good for me. That's good. Let's take some profit on the way down here.
You win. Perfect.
Okay, what is this horizontal line lining up to anyway? I guess that's a 10 point off of the overnight here. Looks like we're finding a little bit of support in there, so I'm going to roll my stop here just in case. I like that Sierra chart gives a pretty realistic thing of pretty realistic performance of fills. Because earlier it tagged me, but I didn't get filled. Here again, tagged me, I didn't get filled. So you actually do need to move through some sort of queue. Okay, and tagged me there, didn't get filled. You know, like you actually have to go through some of the volume in order for you to get a fill. Now I'm taking it on the hourly, taking a long off of this 50, right? if I can get my fill. This is really, oh, come on. Shoot. Missed it. Missed it. It just didn't didn't give me a fill. There wasn't enough volume down there. So that entry, by the way, is just a 10-point cadence idea, and I see that happen a lot in the ES, where the best trade of the day is just 10-point cadence, then back to VWAP. So this is going to be tricky because now if I want to get in, I'm going to have to pay up for it. Typically is actually a pretty good trade. It's typically a pretty strong trade. So I'm debating whether or not I want to take this for a move back up to this to 71. I mean, you know, it's like 2 points from there. It's definitely a better proposition from the 67. I had my order again at 67, just didn't get filled because Sierra chart does give some realistic fills off of that. Okay, we got something going on there. Okay, let's see if we get it. Just back to VWAP, back to up here. You know, or even here, I'll have another order way up there. Okay, back up and over that. So I'll size one off. If we get back up into this upper distribution, then I'll be looking to do adds to the long side. See, 10 minutes before the close. Do I roll my stop? I should probably let it go for 5 minutes, don't you think? Yeah, protective stop. Now we're up and over this 200, so that's kind of nice that that we've actually found buying support this long. Try to get up to that objective. In fact, lift that up to here to hit the VWAP, or at least come close to it. Maybe come in just a little bit. I'll say normally I'm way more patient with ES than I am in Q.
You win.
I'll take that.
Perfect.
That was a little bit impatient, right? Chris, 10-point cadence from low or high, just doesn't matter. Most days that plays out. Yeah, that's about it. That's been it on that. I think that's, I don't know why that is. It's just something I've noticed happen again and again in the markets, in the ES anyway. Now I will roll my stop right underneath this 5-minute candle. There we go. You can see that we have the cumulative delta finally rolling up here. Just as a, you know, again, I don't know for certain if this works on ES. This is the first time I've tried it on ES here, so I mean that's pretty good, I guess. That if you're waiting for it to melt through and then have a push up, that might be your signal to start getting in on that side. Now in the 5 minute, this is a bearishness, a bearish break here. So
You lose.
and we're out. We're out of that trade. So we are at a net of about 9.5 points on ES. Nothing too crazy strong, to be honest. We have IB, so IB stat on ES is something to look out for. That just means that most of the time you're going to break the first hour's range one way or another. Just looking at this chart, it looks like the other to the downside is what is the more likely of the two scenarios happening here. So I will take a short, let's see, take a short around, say here. Take a short around there, see if we can get to it first. Looks like, and just as as far as chop goes, it looks like we have about what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ticks there. So maybe I should come down 1 to 9 to make sure I get filled. Yeah, these are just rule of thumb sorts of things. Take a little profit off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's try and get 6 ticks to the downside here. See if that comes into play. Nope. Nope, just going sideways. Just going sideways. Let's let this play out some.
You win. Perfect.
Oh man, that was nice. I like how strong that was. That implies that we could get some more. I like how strong that was. We don't have tail support until all the way down here in the 61 area. I'm going to keep my stop right up here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So we got 6 ticks on one way down, and then I have a 3 tick stop here, and just let the other part of this ride here. Hopefully we'll get a break here, and if we're doing 10-point cadence once again, or something like this, which would be similar to this projection. Okay, that would land us down here at 2763. So do a tick within that. Let this ride. See what we got on cumulative delta. Looks like we are still leaning to the bears on cumulative delta. Let's see what the daily looks like. So daily, I don't know. Nothing too strong. We haven't really come to the close of the prior day right here, around 66 yet, and still mixed. Everything's still mixed going on here. Wow, it would be really great if we really sold off, right?
You lose.
Yep, there we go. It got stopped out. So yeah. Let's see if this clears. We have VWAP here. We have an edge of value happening over here. We're getting some bullishness right here. Cumulative delta not really helping out much. Higher probability trade here is to the downside, but we're getting a little poke. Yeah, we're getting a little poke. Might come back to POC. So I'm going to want this to come up some first, and then ABC this. Come up some, come back some, and then I will take a long off of that. So I will go ahead and take this long. Try and get that back down here to the breakout spot, and see if we can head higher. See if we can head higher. We poked below initial balance right here, came right back in. Tested the initial balance, came right back in. So ABC trade through the VWAP most days, to the bull side anyway, tends to be a pretty good probability trade. May have to lift just ever so slightly on this. Ever so slightly on that. Let's see if we get it. Bullish CD, that's good. Below the cloud, that's bad. And more importantly, on the 60-minute, we have bullish structure that just came in. So that's good. That's good. We'll see if we... lots of time though, so this could close in a very bearish way, but we'll see how that pans out. I'll let this go all the way back to right below POC, maybe right there into all this early morning chop. We're already in that chop zone, so if we push a little bit higher into that, maybe explore the other side, that'd be good. Good for the trade here. What I don't want this to do is really explore much lower than this VWAP. So I'm going to be pretty aggressive with this stop.
You lose.
And I'm out. I'm going to go ahead and call this. So pretty slow session, 7 points. Yeah, it's really small day on ES. Yesterday was a challenging day as far as practice on NQ. Of course, you never like to see that you get stopped out and things go back up into your favor, right? Yesterday was a challenging day with the NQ practice session. I feel like I called it during a decent point. This too, I feel like I'm calling at a decent point because we're not getting a lot of range. I'd probably say that the best trade off of all this was the 10-point cadence trade from highs coming down here. Didn't get my fill at 67. That was really, that was a shame that I didn't get that fill, because 67 back to VWAP would have probably been just the best, the best little call, best little trade of the day. Something like this, where you're trying to short here or here, even long here or here. Those most days in the early session, you do get some good like breakout happening. So this initial 3-point range, I think the best thing to do off of that was that I got those 2 small stops during this and decided, well, I'm going to wait for some real imbalance in the market. So that was a good call. And this, I'm just going to chalk up, I'm trying to be objective with this. Most days I wouldn't change anything. Most days, if you poke through decently, and maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ticks wasn't enough, maybe it just needed more, but if you poke through decently on ES and you come back to VWAP, most days adding at VWAP for ABC back to a higher objective is going to work out. This day in particular, though, just a difficult day. I'll go ahead and we'll kick this up to some ridiculous amount of speed, because I do want to see how the day played out after this, just out of curiosity. See if there's anything I can glean from watching this. So we'll kick this up to like 240 speed. All right, we'll finish this day out really quickly. So we did eventually get pushed up. So maybe that was what I needed to do, is wait for that, try to get a pullback down here. Didn't get it. Continued back up. Okay. And now we're back finding a little support. Nope, back into range. Are we getting back into range? Yeah. Back into range. We are bullish at this point. We're not really extending here. We still have this minor price objective up here. What's interesting, let's see, is this 77? Yeah, 10-point cadence from 67 to 77. Got a little bit more again, right? That's interesting. Bit of some stair stepping on the way up. Still orbiting that VWAP, and we're done. So, you know, props to random.org for picking what would be even on my best ES trading days. This day in particular would be very challenging to say the least. The only trade that I had that I would have had some surety in would be that 10-point cadence trade back here, right? Trying for continuation in that first half hour is okay, in my opinion, because you typically do get continuation trades, and they normally don't counteract any existing cumulative delta, and we didn't have a daily bias going on, or an hourly bias for that matter, and we just had maybe a 5-minute bias, leaning to the downside. Timing on that, of course, very difficult. And then all of this action, definitely very, very difficult. We didn't achieve an upside objective for the week and the week that it was trading. We definitely didn't achieve this objective. This objective, I think, up here would have been possible only if we'd had a sequence that where we actually had an initial dip low very early, 10-point cadence very early, and then did what I was looking for. Where you come back up over VWAP, maybe chop around some, you make new highs, you come back to VWAP, and then kind of base, and then you launch, right? That'd be something that's a scenario I would imagine that we get up to that area, significant area on the weekly here. Get rid of this drawing. But at the end of the day, if the damage is that I walk away with $355, so be it. I think the most I had at one point was what, 9 or 10 points. So yeah, that's it for this session here. Everyone have a great rest of the weekend. Before I go, let's see, 10.7 points. Okay. All right. Well, big thing there is I just don't want to give up half of it. I don't want to give up half of it. It's going to be hard. I'll say it's going to be hard with only 10 points logged or banked to really have any kind of meaningful capital preservation. At that point, whenever you're at 15 or 20 points, then it's, it actually means something for you to be like, well, yeah, I want to hold on to 60 or 70% of this. I don't want to give that up, right? But whenever you're at 10 points, just like with NQ, it'd be like having 25 points with NQ, and then you're looking at that and you're like, okay, well, it's good. 25 points is good. It's certainly better than an entry-level job any day of the week, right? But at the same time, that to me would just be like, oh, okay, well, 25 points. That's the, that's like a couple 2 or 3 winning trades in a row, I'm still going to keep on trading, right? What stopped me here, and what I generally want to base my stopping point at least for the first early session here, is whenever there's just too much randomness introduced in the patterns. In this case, I think the randomness comes from such a tight range in ES, right? So from your opening price, this in terms of opening price, we open at 2774. We managed to extend up a little more than 4 points. We managed to extend down 7 points. So that's pretty decent, right? But we never really achieved any kind of real strong imbalance, right, from the opening price. Anyway, we didn't really extend way down and get into a scenario where we had some nice solid 5 or 6 point, extension trades or regression trades to really play off of. That's why I'm it's a shame that I missed the 67.25 here, because that 67.25 up to 71.25, at least that's a 4 point move. 4 points being significant in ES anyway. Yeah, trading definitely better than most jobs. Yeah, you said it. At 10.15, in my opinion, looks like the fade of the opening range balance. Yeah, I wonder if opening range balance, maybe I refer to that as the initial balance. That's more of a Jim Dalton idea. The first hour of the day opening balance here. In this case, if you wanted to be aggressive, in fact, you'd have to be aggressive off of that. Then the idea would be what I think of as a market maker entry or a liquidation provider entry. What I mean by that is you have some significant level that is broken. So this is the IB. So we break it, and that you have your order there. So you have your order ready for whenever it comes back in. That's definitely the safer entry method. Of course, I had my order right at 67. So of course, if that had gotten filled, I mean, hey, fantastic. And I will say that it's frustrating with ES to that for me anyway. I try to go a tick in, but I have had orders before where I have something like this, and I'm like, well, that's really close. I'll go ahead and put my order right next to it, and I do get a fill right on that tail, right on the very, very edge, which is great. And of course, it's even better when you have something like this. You get in and you're like, okay, I want to get out right at the open price, and price comes all the way to the open and hits a brick wall, and you're part of that iceberg, part of that absorption area, and you get filled, and you just look at it and you're like, oh, that's beautiful, tick to tick, top to bottom, tick to tick, or reverse, bottom to top, tick to tick on that, right? That's fantastic. Dog is going crazy back there. Cadence, yeah, I already covered that, and that's about it. So yeah, we'll get this posted up later on.